said before, we couldn't go away without doing a part two. I know you've seen the first show, and Coach Larry Wade is full of information. I really didn't realize he was as deep as he was, but talking to him and just being on the first part of the show, I know you heard the comment of I'm wanting to come out of retirement and get back in the ring and do it again. But like he said, once you get out there at our age and get to moving, you'll realize real quick why you retired the first time. So I'm going to take his advice because, he is good at giving great advice. So I'm going to stick with that. But Coach Larry Wade, welcome back to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you, brother. I'm happy to be here. I really am. Thank you for having me back for part two.
Hey, and that first show was remarkable. I really can't express enough on how in depth and how in tune you are with your profession and what you do.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and get into the second part of it, and let's go back into the strength and conditioning part of it. Explain to the viewers that when you first step out into the strength and conditioning world, a lot of people are afraid. A lot of people, they don't want to take that chance and get out there. But you did. You became successful at it. What obstacles did you overcome to get to where you are now?
Oh, wow. That is, that's a deep question because there's parts of this game that I always speak on, but there's other parts that I don't speak on most of the time. Just because I always try to be a uplifting, great person. But when I got started, man, the game wasn't necessarily the easiest. I came from another sport, and here I am in this new sport. And when I first got started, guys knew me. They knew of me from my sport and also from being a coach. And, I remember one guy in particular, every time I would go on the floor at Mayweather's gym, he would say, "What are you gonna do at the track coach? What are you gonna do? Teach you how to run around the ring?" And it was funny to them, but it wasn't funny to me.
Right.
Because I'm like, I'm giving my heart and soul over here. What are you talking about? But what I realized is what he was doing for me at that time was forcing me to become more focused on being great at what I'm doing. And at the same time, giving me the tough love that I need to have the toughness of the skin to endure any type of criticism, because it's going to always come. And I'm a firm believer that if you can't handle the criticism or the judgment, then you don't deserve to be on top. It comes along with the job. So as long as I want to be the best at what I do, I have to always be prepared to be able to handle, the criticism and what people's opinions are, but still stay focused on doing what I need to do to be the best.
Okay. And when it goes to lifting weights, because I know strength and conditioning, that's why I tied in the motivational speaking, because it's mental just as well as physical. When you bring weightlifting into it, there's a proper way of doing it, and then there's a way of doing it that is unsafe.
Very.
What do you recommend for new conditioning coaches out there? How do you recommend them to implement weightlifting into their?
First, start slow. But before you can even get started, know your athlete. Know your athlete's background, because a person could have 20 years of boxing experience in the ring as a boxer, but 1 year of strength conditioning experience in the gym. They're not going to be ready to do what somebody who's been in the gym 10, 15 years. You have to start them out on a little slower program, but more importantly, figure out what they've done in the past so you can make the best educated decision on what direction you need to go in trying to develop whatever their weaknesses are. Every athlete comes in with a totally different issue. I haven't had one athlete that came in with all the same issues. They have all been different. So my advice to you would be take your time. Don't be in a rush. And if you don't know the answer, don't guess. Get a mentor or someone with experience and ask questions, because there are people out there. Hell, I'm out there. So if they have questions, I mentor about 3 or 4 guys now. One of my good friends who's a former track guy is Joey Scott. Joey Scott came from track and field. Do you know who Joey Scott trains? Deontay Wilder.
Wow.
And he's been with Deontay Wilder for his whole professional career for the most part.
Okay. Okay.
So if he has questions, he can call me and we bounce stuff off, or vice versa. Get you someone that you feel like may have the information, may be able to help you. I get guys call me now who I think are great trainers, and I give them all the best advice because God gave me this platform to be able to be a voice, and I want to continue to be that voice. And he didn't give me the platform to keep all the information to myself. He gave it to me to help people, and that's what I've been doing with it.
Wow. Wow. Now, are you looking in the near future of putting together a motivational video? You have to have something in the back of the head there that is saying that, you know what, I could probably put together a motivational video and get it out there.
You know what's so crazy about that question is, believe it or not, at first I never looked at myself as a motivational speaker. I didn't. I just knew I had the ability to inspire people. So as a coach, I would get in front of 20, 30 people and I would do my thing and they would be inspired and they go compete and we do well. And that's what I looked at, right?
Right.
My wife was like, hey, you're really good at this. You really need to do this in real life. And I'm like, nah, it's okay. And then my manager, Amir Abdallah, who's also the manager, he manages Badu Jack and he does a lot of the Saudi fights as well. He was like, Larry, you really need to do this. And I said, well, all right, well, give me an appointment. Let's see if I can get it. So he set me up to do a positive motivational speech in Michigan in front of 200 people. And I asked him, I said, you couldn't start with 20? I couldn't work my way up. But he started with 200 people.
Bam, right out the gate.
And so he gave me this, and here's the thing. Guess who's following me? Mike Tyson. So I got to go on before Mike Tyson? You couldn't get anybody else? Like somebody that we don't know? So,
well, let just be thankful he followed you and you didn't follow him.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I went on and did my thing, and they loved it. They loved it, and they invited me to come back. And ever since then, that same company, OSP, has asked me to come back every year to do it. And I've done it the last 2-3 years in a row and done some other speeches as well. And I'm just grateful that whatever it is I have to say is worth them listening to.
Right, right. That's the most important thing, because you have a lot of coaches and leaders out here that, and they're great leaders. They are. Yes. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but I've always said to myself, and I've always watched, other leaders, and I've always said, a great leader is not someone to get people to follow them. A great leader is someone who gets others to lead.
Yeah, to inspire others to do it.
And you're that type of person. It's not about how many people follow you, but it's how many people you get to that next level to be leaders themselves.
Correct.
And that's the sign of a great leader.
Well, thank you.
It really is. And we're going to stick to the motivational side, because right now my blood is flowing. I'm feeling a little.
Good. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
I might do it. I'm telling you, I might do a video of me running later on.
Hey, I want to see it too. You better send it to me.
Might have a little oxygen, but I'll be running.
It's all right. I'll come pick you up. You be all right.
And okay, let's see what we got. How would you ensure that your speech or the moment you were captivating when you're speaking to audience? Let's say like when you went out and you did that speech in Michigan.
Right.
How did you know that you were captivating that audience?
This is going to sound like a crazy answer because most people won't understand it. Hopefully some people do. I talk to whomever I need to talk to find out what is it that they're trying to get across, right? Okay. What is their mission? I take that idea and I need at least 4 to 6 weeks. I take that mission and I literally do this. I ask God to inspire me. What is it that he wants me to say? It don't come like I just sit down and I start writing. I might not think about the question again for another week or two. And then he hits me with something. Boom. I write it all down. I go across. And then I chill for a minute and just see when he comes back with something. Sometimes he gives me almost the whole thing. And
Right.
sometimes he gives me this much. One of my last speeches, he came to me. I wrote something up around 3 weeks out. I was like, yeah, I just wrote it up. And then the week of the event, he said, nah, you're not using that. Gave me a whole new speech. I threw out the whole entire old speech.
Right.
And I was like, if he's giving it to me, I can't fail. So I said what I needed to say. And I'm watching people cry, hugging each other. And I was like, I'm right on time because he told me what I needed to say to be ready for this particular day. If you try to figure this thing out on your own, it's never going to happen. But when you're doing something that's deep and from the heart and from the spirit, it has to be inspired.
Right.
And it has to be given to you.
Yeah.
So I sit back and I waited till it, and that's the only way I can do it. God gives me that ability to pull it at the time, but he always tells me what he wants me to do.
Wow. And that right there, that was deep, because a lot of people, they're afraid to give God the credit for the stuff that they do, or for the stuff that or the place that they've been placed. They're afraid to give God that credit. And when you said that, and you said, I pray about it. God gives me the direction.
Yeah, he tells me what he wants me to do.
Yeah.
And I do it. When there's moments where I want to say things, if I don't feel it, like if I don't feel like he's pushing me to say it, I'd rather step back because he's not telling me to speak right now. Wait, I'll let you know when it's time. And that's when I speak up.
Wow. Wow. That right there just hit home. I come from a big Christian family, and God comes first,
Right.
on everything, and that right there was like, okay, this guy, he's going that there's got to be a seed somewhere in there, and you just hit
Yeah.
you just hit it. That's amazing. And
Thank you.
wow, amazing. I knew it was a reason why I needed to talk to you.
Well, I'm grateful that you thought enough to talk to me. Thank
Yes,
you.
I knew it was. So we'll go ahead and keep going, so we can get this part two wrapped up. What would you say is the most difficult part of either one, strength and conditioning or motivational conversation?
Stepping back, because as a motivational speaker, as a leader, as a father, we inspire our kids, we inspire our athletes, and we inspire them with all the love and passion and belief that we have, but they're the ones who have to go walk the walk.
Right.
So the hardest part is when it's time for them to walk the walk and you can't go walk the walk for them.
Right.
Right. So I think the hardest part has been, if I was to have anything be hard, because I look at it all being part of the process now, it's saying, okay, baby, we ready, go get it. And we step back and just watch. That's the hardest part. When I'm there and I'm teaching and you fall, I can help you get up, or I can encourage you to get up, and everything's in a controlled setting. But when you're out there and you're in that ring or where on that field or on that track, or my kid is walking down the stairs, it's on them to figure that out. And you have to be able to be okay with stepping back and letting them figure it out.
Right. Being that support system, because they're
Yes.
gonna fail, you know,
At some
and
point.
they're gonna fail. But it's our job as parents to be there as that support system, just like you said,
Right. Just to
to
step back
pick
and
them
say,
back
look,
up.
I know you messed up. You'll be okay though.
Right, right. And that's what a lot of our, not just young athletes, but our young adults, this day and time is missing. If someone being there.
I want to chime in and say this real quick, and this might not go over well for everyone, but we're in a society now where we're starting to say everything is okay and everything is acceptable. I don't think that's wrong with having expectations for your kids. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think now we're in a space where they're like, Just let your kid live. It's okay. Whatever they turn out, they want to do, they can do. It should be okay. No,
No.
I feel like they're not old enough to make those kind of decisions. They don't know what they want at age 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You give them direction. You put a level of expectation out there, and you demand those levels to be met.
Right.
There's a certain level of respect you're going to give at all times. I don't care what you decide you want to do. That's a
Exactly.
certain level of integrity and effort you're going to give at all times. I don't care what you want to do. If you decide you're going to do something, for my son specifically, if he says he's going to do something, he don't get to not do it at
Right.
any point. He has to complete it.
Yes.
Whether he does well at it or doesn't do well at it, you're going to complete it
Yes.
because you said you're going to do it, and I'm going to make sure you do it.
Right. To the
And
end.
so, yeah, to the end. So
Yeah.
that is something that I feel like as parents or even coaches, no, we should have expectation. We're putting
Right.
in time and effort and sacrifice and hard work to be successful, not to
Right.
fail. So yeah, so I expect you to be on time. I expect you to do the work 150%. I expect you to go to bed at night. I expect you to eat right. I expect you to study. I expect all those same things because I demand all those same things out of myself.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to just say that because I know sometimes parents are like, it's okay if he didn't do so well. No, it's not. If he's not doing well academically, study more.
Right.
If that doesn't work, get him a tutor.
Right.
Help him understand what it's like to compete in
Yes.
real life.
Yes.
Because that's what real life is. It's a competition.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to
Losing builds you.
It does. It can.
Yeah.
It can build. It depends on if you take it in a constructive manner.
Right.
If you
Right.
look at each time as each loss as a definitive place, no. A loss doesn't define you, it creates you.
Correct.
It gives you an opportunity to evolve into a new person. But it doesn't define the value of person and or life in which you possess.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, perfectly said. You couldn't have said that any better at any given time, just for the simple fact is I call it lazy parenting, where parents don't want to take that initiative to correct their kid because they want to always be the good parent.
Correct.
They always want to be, the friend, which
Yes.
that's not what
Instead of the parent.
parenting
Right.
is.
Right.
You
Well, I
know.
think in some cases also you got situations where I'll just speak on my own behalf for what I call the 3-car garage syndrome. Now,
Okay.
what that means is when a lot of time people who come from low income rural areas, no mom, no dad, and they find a way to make it into a stable financial social society, they work their butts off to get there because they didn't have it.
Right.
That's how they got there, so they understand. But their kids never had to go through that. So because the kids never had to go through that hardship, their drive or their path is not going to be the same as yours.
Right.
But you still have to instill that level of integrity and, for lack of words, go-getter mentality needed for them to be successful in life, even though they didn't come from those hardships. And the only way you do that is by teaching them and instilling that in them, and that takes time. And I think that's where, as parents, we're challenged from time to time, but I make sure my son understands, because right now I'm in camp with Jake Paul.
Okay.
I'm out of the state.
Right.
But I talk to my son every day and I let him know, listen, this is what dad has to do.
Yes.
This is how I take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean I don't love you. I know you may miss me, but once you get older, you'll understand.
You'll understand because he'll develop his own path and his own grind, as they call it, to take care of his family.
And he also gets to see, this is the biggest part. Oh, this is the biggest part. He gets to see the sacrifice up front and in person in 3
Yes. Yes.
My dad is not here. He's out the country working. I may see him on TV, but he's providing us a life. And when he gets to be 10, 20 years older from now, he'll understand that he will also have to sacrifice something to be successful.
Yes. Yes. And that's definitely going to be a show 3. I'm definitely going to have to bring you back for a show 3 because we're going to have to talk about, life lessons in general. I'm eager to hear, just what you have to say about life lessons. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I'm learning from this interview on how to interview, even though
Doing a
I'm not
great job, if you ask me.
asking you, I'm not asking you specific interview questions, but you're teaching me. Just like we was talking earlier, by the way you're answering these questions, you're teaching me how to interview.
Well, thank you.
And that is a lesson and a blessing in itself. I can't thank you enough
Thank
for
you.
taking time out of your day. Like I said, like you said, you're in camp with Jake Paul right now,
Currently,
getting him
yes.
ready, but yet you decided to take not only the 28 minutes that I offered up, but you actually decided to come back for another 28 minutes, to
And I got
finish up
another
a
one
practice.
for you if you got to want to go a third one. We could do a third one for
Yeah.
sure.
If you have the time,
I
trust
have
me.
time. I
Yeah.
got time for one more if you want to do one more.
Okay, yes, I do. So let me close this one out. Once again, part two, RWB Sports and Coach Larry Wade. He has given me an opportunity to come back and do a part three. So I'm going to take advantage of this time while I have it. So this is RWB Sports. I'm Reggie Peoples. This is Coach Larry Wade and part two. Stay tuned because we'll be right back with part three. We'll see you in the turn.